Every week, catch your freshest on your TV. Field level football, Quan, Pat, and CT. On the field, running plays for the 3P. And we shine lights, camera action when you see the team. Pick 6, touchdown when I got the ball. And if you think you in my league, tell them knock it off. Money calling every day, and I just got the call. Production over projection, it's in us, we just got a ball. We just got a ball. We just got a ball. We just got a ball.
Field Level Family back for another one. I'm Pat. That's Quan. That's CT. We back in the building, man. I know we take a little bit of hiatus every once in a while, but the crazy part about it is that everybody's married, everybody got kids, everybody got life situations that pop up. So we got to adapt, adjust, and get right back to it. It's the Field Level, the football podcast of the West Coast. We excited, man, for another great show. We'll be dealing with a lot of different topics. We're going to talk about what's going on over there in Vegas with those Raiders in training camp, what's going on with those Niners in training camp. And then what we're going to do is we're going to spin the block one time, come back around and deal with the entirety of the league and even maybe kind of like preview some of these preseason games to see what will be happening, going forward this week as football has officially returned. The Hall of Fame game has been played. Quan, CT, Quan, how you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing great. Also, let me just say, like my guy says, we all got lives. Plus, when football's not around, we don't want y'all to get bored. It's almost impossible to get bored of us, but, we just got to make sure. But we back, baby. We back. What's up, my guy C, man? What's going on?
What's up, my brothers, man? I'm cool. Got a dub today for flag football to finish out the season.
We
against
seen
the team
that.
They beat us in week 1, so I was a little salty, and I kind of, circled that team, and we ended up getting it done today, man. We had 3 tugs, so it was a good look. Defense was pretty good. Kids had a little party afterwards, so it was dope, man. My kid, he's ready. He's locked in for the fall, so just excited, man, and blessed.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Way to get that dub. Way to go out there and get that W at the end of the day. Field Level Family, if y'all in here tonight, man, if y'all on the stream, man, just go ahead on, type here, type something. Let us know you're in the building in that comment section. That way we can just, we can interact. Get back to me, I get back to you. You know what I'm saying? What they say in the streets, I talk to me, I talk back. That's just kind of how I go. I talk back. But let's jump right in tonight, man. Let's not belabor the time, as they say in the church house. Let's get right to it. Hey, Quan, what's going on in Vegas, bro? What's going on over there? What is it looking like over there in training camp? Drake Kelly, man, happy to have you in here tonight, man.
Coach.
What's going on with Raiders training camp, man? Really, there's nothing much too exciting because, as you guys know, in the offseason, we kind of got a lot of flack. What's good, Twan? We got a lot of flack from, not making super-duper splash moves. I felt like the last 2 years, we just spent a lot of draft capital. Well, now that draft capital is starting to develop, hopefully quicker than usual. I will say one thing that, if you guys remember, last 2 years ago, the Raiders drafted a linebacker out of Clemson, Tanner Muse. You remember him?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
My bad. He was – he was
of course we remember Tanner Muse. Why would we not remember him?
Hey, you asked me about training camp. It ain't fun if I
world beater, bro.
Hey, it ain't fun if I just talk about the obvious guys. I got to talk about the guys that the field of might not know about.
100%.
Facts.
He was a safety at Clemson. He came into the Raiders, and they tried to move him to linebacker. They put him on the practice squad, and fast forward to now this year, he's getting a lot of first-team reps. I believe all of his reps in first team are coming in certain packages. Since he was a safety, he has that flexibility. So I don't want to make it seem like he's over there taking Kwiatkowski's spot or Littleton's spot because they've been doing great in this new Gus Bradley defense. But that's just something to put out there. As of right now, Casey Hayward and Trayvon Mullen are the guys. Damon Arnett, who was a first-round pick, who couldn't stay on the field because of talent, it was more so a health reason. He's kind of the outside guy looking in.
No, he's not. My favorite Raider.
That's still Pat's guy.
it's my favorite Raider.
Well, hey, I like him, but you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I will say the thing that's been surprising me most is I know we're going to talk about it, so let's just jump into it. Second-year receiver Brian Edwards. He got a big compliment from his head coach, John Gruden, in saying he resembles Terrell Owens to him. So, I don't want to look at Terrell Owens in the Hall of Fame aspect because that's what he is. But if we could just look at the measurables, I think that's what he was going for. T.O.'s when he came in the league, 6'3", 224 pounds, ran a 4.45. Second time ran a 4.5, so you average that out, right? Brian Edwards came in 6'3", same height, 212, was 12 pounds lighter, but he put on some weight this year. I think he's at a solid 220. So he's 4 pounds less than T.O., and they both ran the same 40. So when you look at him on the field, I believe that's why he says that.
I would hope it would be why he says that. So you're telling me he says it because they look alike?
I would say body type wise, that's but
that was the basis of his statement.
Correct, but T.O. didn't. Let's not get it twisted. T.O. didn't hit the ground running when he was in San Francisco because he was sitting behind some legends. I'm giving respect. He was sitting behind some legends. When he got his chance, he did his thing. I think this year is going to be Brian Edwards' chance to do his thing. Even though last year he didn't get on the field because of production,
because he's sitting behind some legends over there in Vegas. Go ahead.
Well, see here we go. See, he got injured, but here we go. Anyway. That's what's going on in Raiders camp. We can keep going, but I want to go around the table because before I get upset, you know what I'm saying?
CT, it's on you, buddy.
Yeah, I heard about that compliment. Watched a little tape on him. I'll wait and see. How he looks in preseason to give a real analysis of his growth. He was making noise last year. Was expected to be a starter, and some things stalled him with injuries and whatnot. So hopefully he can maintain and stay healthy. We'll get a better idea of what he can provide because, I hear Ruggs is bigger, this year, and obviously you got Renfro, but I just don't know, if you guys have the solution at receiver yet based off of last year. So hopefully you guys do, especially losing Aguilar. But I will say, if I look at the defense, what I've been intrigued by is all the praise I've been hearing about Yannick Ngakoue. Dude came in ready. He's looking like, the guy that was on the Jags at one point in time. So if that's the case, that's huge for the pass rush. That's always been a heavy criticism of my own for the Las Vegas Raiders. So if they're able to fix that this year with Yannick, I think that'll be huge.
I think one thing that the Raiders are catching. A lot of times you say the Raiders catch slack, right? But I feel like the Raiders are kind of riding this wave of kind of under the radar disappointment, and I say, and not meaning to be disrespectful, but what I mean by that statement is that
I'm not even getting mad. I'm just listening.
Nah. I think you have teams like New Orleans, right? You have the New Orleans Saints who catch a lot of flack behind their receiver room, right? It's like they always one of the worst receiver rooms in the league right now is the New Orleans Saints, right? Right. Cool. The Raiders are just as bad, if not worse, than the New Orleans Saints receiver room. Call a spade a spade. Let's keep it real. I mean, you got Henry Ruggs, who jury is still out. No one really knows what he's able to do because he hadn't done it last year. You got Hunter Renfro, who is can only hope to be Danny Amendola at his best. And then you have Brian. No, you know what I'm saying? And then you have Brian Edwards, who we don't know. You have Keelan Doss, who we don't know. We have Aitman, who we don't know. You got a lot of Zay Jones, who we don't know. We got a lot of guys that you just don't know, right? So that is a concern for me. That is a legitimate concern for me when you are playing in the AFC West, where there is a lot of Jesus Christ. There's a lot of good talent. Let's just call it. You got the Chiefs who are on the upswing with Patrick Mahomes and those boys. And you have, over in Los Angeles with the Chargers, those guys are doing well. White dude is nice, Dre. You are right. White dude is nice. Hunter Renfro is nice. I just think that at best in his career, he'll be Danny Amendola, which is not a knock on him because Danny Amendola had a pretty solid career, but I don't see anything surpassing that, right? So who is the number one in Las Vegas? You know what I mean? Is it going to be Henry Ruggs? And if so, what does that look like from Henry Ruggs? Because we have not seen anything that resembled a number one last year. Is it going to be Brian Edwards? Maybe. Who knows? Jury, like I said, jury is still out. Who is the number one receiver going into this preseason?
So we don't have a number one wide receiver at this moment, and that's the honest answer. We do not have
maybe John Brown.
No, but that's why.
Okay, Willie Snead. My bad.
See. This is why
I agree.
So again, who is that? Andre
Kelly.
said it best. Now, I don't like using the tight end as a wide receiver's number one, but in most cases that can be the case, right? George Kittle's the number one for the Niners. Darren Waller's the number. Don't do that.
No, he is. He
Okay,
is. I just think that Debo, Brandon Ayuk, and those boys are yards better than what you guys say. But go ahead.
I don't disagree. I believe that Debo and Brandon Ayuk are already more proven than Brian Edwards and Henry Ruggs. I'm not disagreeing there.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is,
proven or better.
I think what'd you say?
Proven or better. It's a difference.
Okay, they're better, proven. You can use all of that. I'll give you that for today's show. Mark this
today.
This date down. Mark this date down. But anyway, I think what John Gruden did was he's trying to give his young guys a chance to pretty much turn into the 1 and 2, because last year, even with Aguilar being there, Brian Edwards and Henry Ruggs started the season as the starters. Ruggs got hurt in week 1, Edwards got hurt in week 2. So he's giving them that chance again if they could just stay healthy. That's why he told Ruggs, get bigger. That's why he told Edwards, get a little bigger, get healthier. And then he got free agents like John Brown, who are proven to get 1,000 yards on any given season. He had 1,000 yards with the Bills and with the Cardinals before he got up out of there. And then he gets Willie Snead, who had 1,000-yard receiving season with the Saints, I believe, before he got moved all around the league.
In 2005. So, go ahead.
See, no, he ain't that old, bro. We graduated high school in 05.
I know.
So I think that's why he brings in veterans like that, veterans who won't like demand to start based off of their name, but in case things don't work out, he can plug them in and still be productive, a la what Aguilar was last year. So we'll see.
No, I definitely agree with what you're saying. My only concern is this, right? This is my concern. When you don't have a guy that's a true number one, Dre said I can have 1,000 with Breeze. When you don't have a guy that's a true number one, now I will say Darren Waller, you insert Darren Waller into that number one spot, right? I hate that we use the tight end as a number one, but that's just kind of the way the football gods made it for the Las Vegas Raiders. My issue then becomes, sure. Put it out there. All right, cool, sure.
It's the truth. Go ahead.
It's the truth, but then we also have the ability to potentially have a number one receiver as long as.
Now you're talking about potential. We're talking about the truth. We're talking about the facts.
Okay. All right.
All right, go ahead.
You can definitely be a number one. But anyway, let me just keep on going with my thought process here. What happens then if you have those guys that are not able to put a threat in the secondary? What do I do as a defensive coordinator? I stack the box against Josh Jacobs, and then you see him kind of start getting to beat down a little bit. So I just want them to try to figure out a way, because actually, believe it or not, I like it when the Raiders are successful. I actually do. It happens far and few in between, but when they are successful, I do enjoy watching them. I enjoy the black and the silver. But what do you think it'll take, right? Because if you have any kind of hopes for Josh Jacobs to have a breakout year, you guys have to get better in the passing game. You guys have to get better in the passing game. And Darren Waller, as great as he can be, as great as he is, it becomes a lot easier to deal with one threat than if I had to stretch Henry Ruggs. He has to do what he was drafted to do. You got to stretch the field. You got to open up all those underneath routes. He has to do that stuff because that's who he was drafted to be. He's not a slant. He stretched the field and let everyone else create underneath, and then every once in a while you take a shot deep.
But Pat, you just said that's what Henry Ruggs should be. That's what Henry Ruggs was last year exactly. He just wasn't healthy for the whole season. How you think Darren Waller had a career year?
It wasn't because of Henry Ruggs.
I'm not saying it's only because of Ruggs, but John Gruden said it himself. We need.
I don't care what John Gruden says.
Okay, all right. Well, look, I'm telling you what I saw. Aguilar had a career year. It was still only, I think, 70 catches.
Aguilar's there. You go. Thank you, Quan.
Listen, what I'm saying though. Aguilar had a career year. Waller had a career year. If you don't think Henry Ruggs had an impact on that at all by him stretching the field, then you lying to yourself. You lying to yourself, bro.
No. Pat. He's 100% right.
Yeah.
Ruggs did have an impact because he wasn't there. He didn't play. He was hurt.
Exactly.
See. Okay. All right, man. All right.
Exactly. The reason why Darren Waller was as successful as he was last year is because defenses had to worry about Nelson Aguilar. Therefore, you couldn't have a safety over the top of him as well as covering linebacker off the line. They had to spread out that defense a little bit more to kind of account for Nelson Aguilar.
You're saying teams didn't double Darren Waller.
I'm not saying that. No, see, this is Las Vegas Raiders. I said not as frequently.
Oh, okay.
Whereas this year without Aguilar, there's no other 1,000-yard receiver there outside of.
And you're right.
If John Brown can stay healthy, we don't know. The reason why he's out of Buffalo is guess what? Why? Because he couldn't stay healthy.
Right, but I think you're speaking in hindsight by you saying there's no 1,000-yard receiver there no more because Aguilar is gone. Well, last year when he first got there, he wasn't even starting.
So you want me to say one of those guys are a 1,000-yard receiver right now? Is that what you want me to say?
What I'm saying is if they can stay healthy, and that's a big if because they both got injured, I think Bryan Edwards can turn into a number one. And then
you don't know. Stop that, Quan. Stop that. Come on, bro. You're not about to say I think Bryan Edwards can turn into a number one. We don't. Come on. Production over projection, Quan. Production over projection.
Let me ask you a question. When the Niners drafted Brandon Ayuk, do you think he could be a number one?
Absolutely.
After I seen him.
Okay, then. So after I see him, because he was hurt most of last year, so after I see him, I'll tell you. What you mean?
No, you're telling me now. You just said it now.
I just said I think he can. That's the projection. I think you thought Brandon Ayuk was.
All right, little engine that could. I think he can.
Oh my God! You know what? I can't wait till we play y'all. I'm going to that game too.
CT, bro. I don't care about that game.
You better care because I'm gonna talk all day.
Preseason.
I don't care if it's preseason or not. Our backup's better than your backups. I'm about to talk all day.
Your what? Because your starters are backups. That's why they better than us. What are you talking about?
First off, if Derek Carr was on the Niners right now, he'd open up week one.
No.
Facts.
No. Josh Jacobs.
Is Jimmy better than Derek Carr?
Josh Jacobs is better.
Trey Lance is.
Is Jimmy better than Derek Carr?
Trey Lance is.
Right. I'm glad you ducking the question. You ducking.
Thank you, Dre. No, Derek, come on, man. He said if I took it away too fast, he just said I disagree with that statement.
Oh, I seen it, but Josh Jacobs is better than your starting running back. Whoever it is, I don't even know who it is.
It's Raheem Mostert.
So you saying Josh Jacobs not better than Mostert? Is that what you're saying?
Has he proven to be
better?
I don't know. He ain't proven.
Pat,
I would say he has proven because Mostert hasn't been available. However, who's more dynamic? Mostert.
CT. It's a simple question. I didn't say who's more dynamic, who bench press more. Who, in your mind, if you had to put one for the other, who's better, Josh Jacobs or Raheem Mostert? If you can only take one,
I'll take Jacobs. It's really because of age too.
But you know what though? Quan? I'll let you live with that. But no other position on offense.
Well, Derek Carr is better than Jimmy.
No. Has Derek Carr went to the bowl?
Oh, that's what we doing now?
Just asking a question.
Okay.
Watch this. Does Derek Carr have a winning record as a starter?
Yes, he does.
Chill out.
Oh, wait. No, my bad. I thought you meant in one season. No.
No. As a starter, he does not. So I'm taking the guy that has a better.
Oh, dang. He just X'd himself out.
Hey, he blew a head gasket spreading all these false lies to the field level family.
I don't know about false lies, brother.
Back at it. Look, taking the guy who has a better record as a starter. Look, receiver room, better. Tight end, better. Offensive line, better. Linebackers, better. Defensive line, better. Secondary, better. Everybody's better.
Hey, Pat.
You are right.
Pat, did you say linebackers?
Yes.
I just want to make sure you said linebackers.
They don't have any linebackers. They have Corey Littleton.
Okay.
You are absolutely right. You guys are better than us in almost every position by group for sure. What was our records last year?
Coach, better.
What was our records last year?
Really?
You got all this talent. You got all this talent.
Really? They didn't play.
Crazy. Why not?
That's crazy.
Oh yeah, y'all got the best training staff too, but I didn't want to go. That's a low blow.
Ooh.
You said what?
Bad.
Wow.
You said what? You said what?
Wow.
All right, since we're talking about it, let's switch gears. Let's jump over to the San Francisco 49ers. So what we have here is the very common at times as it pertains to a head coach trying to protect his starting quarterback, right? Here comes Kyle Shanahan saying Jimmy G is the unquestioned starter of the San Francisco 49ers, right? After he makes that statement, time goes by. Then he comes back out and says, you know what? Trey Lance will play this year. He'll have some packages, things of that nature. If you followed the 49ers training camp at all, Trey Lance has been lighting it up. I heard Jimmy G had a really good day today. I think, Dre, were you there? I think, Dre, you might have been in the building. I heard Jimmy had a pretty solid day today, completed some balls. Now, what I will say is that we've consistently heard that Jimmy is having the camp of his life. However, even with him having the camp of his life, it seems as though Trey is having just as good camp, if not better, with Jimmy G producing the best camp of his life. Now, what I've heard oftentimes, and since we've drafted Trey Lance, the narrative has been a la Kansas City, Alex Smith, Patty Mahomes, right? The kind of transition that happened there. Alex Smith was the incumbent starter. Here comes Patrick Mahomes as a draft pick. Insert Patrick Mahomes the year after. I don't agree. I don't think that we have a Kansas City Chiefs situation on our hands. Heard this the other day. I feel like we have a Seattle Seahawks situation in our hands. Seattle Seahawks signed Matt Flynn, just killed it in Green Bay under Aaron Rodgers, was going crazy, doing his thing. Matt Flynn comes in as the projected starter for the Seattle Seahawks. Here comes this rookie, Russell Wilson, out of nowhere, who tears it up in camp, just kills it in camp, and then bang, he's the starter. I think that that's what we're going for. I came out earlier and I was like, hey guys, I feel like Jimmy G will start the first 4 games of the season. With him starting the first 4 games of the season, I think it'll be a situation where they'll start him early just to try to build up some allure, try to get some trade value out of him, because as of right now, you might get a third for him, but try to throw him out there, let him produce a little bit, and then maybe heighten up that trade value. But as the information is coming in, as things are happening, I don't know. It just gets to a situation now where Trey is really, really ready. And it seems as though the information that is coming out of camp is that he's getting to the place where he's correcting guys, in plays. That's what Mike McDaniel came out and said. If he's that ready and the training camps were that comparable, where, edge it to Jimmy, edge it to Trey, whatever you want to do, if it's just that close, what then happens? Because if Trey, you would assume that the intangibles that Trey possesses would give him the nod on a tight race. CT, what do you got to say about your Niners?
It's good to be in this situation, especially at the quarterback position, for a change. Not having to worry about health necessarily, but more so about the maturation process and if it's going to be quick enough. It is an interesting feat. Obviously you want to build up interest in Jimmy, but I'm somewhat on the fence of trading Jimmy during the season. I'm not really a huge fan of that at this point, just because I don't really know what we have as far as backups. I guess we'll find out in the next few weeks. But that's something I'm a little bit fearful of. Not to say that I'm worried about Trey, but I also do want him to have some comparable backup quarterbacks, that can support the right way. But Trey's look phenomenal. You can look at the passes, the rapport he already has with BA, Brandon Ayuk, I'm talking about. Threw some tough passes to George Kittle, to Deebo Samuel, running really well. What Coach Dre said about running in the red zone, absolutely. It looks like it could be a cap situation. Sadi makes a good point where he's in packages potentially, and I think he just will continuously get better and better, and Shanahan won't have no choice. That's exactly what happened with Raheem Mostert, other than injuries as well. He was killing it in practice, dogging the defense, and they had to make a decision. And I think that Trey will run a similar track in that sense. Trey Lance I'm referring to, and maybe even Sermon as well down the road, but that's another story.
Quan, you want to talk about, the 49ers a little bit?
Yeah, you mentioned like some of the situations. You said you compared it to the Seattle Seahawks situation when Russell first got there with Flynn. I think it was Sadi who just put in the chat. He also put in, it might be like the Kaepernick to Alex Smith situation. I will maybe lean more towards that, because didn't Cap get in due to injury?
Yeah.
Right. I might lean more towards that. Now, we can't predict the future of Jimmy getting hurt, but we just going off what has been happening the last few years, because in Seattle, that dynamic was really special. because Matt Flynn pretty much got the starting job and that huge contract off of one game in the snow. Pretty much. Jimmy, as you pointed out earlier when we were talking about the Raiders, Jimmy got a team to the bowl. Jimmy's record as a starter was way better than Matt Flynn. Matt Flynn had a couple games under his belt.
He had 6 touchdowns against the Raiders. That's really what did it. That's what happened.
No, hey, you're right. You're right. You tell no lies. So, but I say that because I think going back to what you said, Pat, about if it's that tight of a race, I think you need to still start Jimmy, because I don't think the Niners would really want a situation like Miami had. You go with the young guy, and then you pull him, you put in Jimmy, and like you said, Jimmy having the best camp of his life. Sidebar: this is why we talk about all the time. Stop giving quarterbacks, especially, stop giving them the job and putting no competition behind them. Because it brings the best out of both athletes. Now you have a good problem. You have 2 guys that are lighting it up in camp. When hasn't the report been since Jimmy got there? He's horrible in training camp.
Yeah,
right.
Typically,
now you put some
not a practice guy,
and you see that tick go up. Like, man, I'm about to get up out of here. He ain't gonna push me out willingly. You know what I'm saying? So, I think you should still start with Jimmy. I don't know if he should have a long leash, but I think you should still start with Jimmy. That way you save yourself from putting the rookie out there to the Wolves. Something goes wrong, and then you got to put Jimmy in, and now the confidence might be shook. I just say play the safe route, start Jimmy. Then when it messes up or he gets hurt or whatever, put Trey in, never look back from there.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with what you're saying. I think that it makes for an interesting training camp, right? You have guys who are competing all over the field, and I think that's one thing that's working in the favor of the San Francisco 49ers this year. I think I seen a clip the other day where Juszczyk beat Fred Warner deep, and they say Fred Warner was highly upset about it. But it's that type of competition that breeds a pretty solid season. And I think that we have some really great problems in San Francisco as it pertains to competition levels, right? Like, you got guys that are going at it. I think that Miles said earlier, and we'll touch on a couple of the things that were said in the chat. I see him over here. Miles said earlier, what 49ers wide receivers make this football team? That's a very interesting question. I think that there's a lot of guys there who that room is crowded, right? You got Debo, you got BA, right? After Debo and BA, that third slot is pretty wide open. Early in camp, you heard Mohamed Sanu was looking really solid. Then here comes Juwan Jennings, comes off of the COVID reserve list, and I hear he's tearing it up in practice, right? Then you hear, Jalen Hurd is back. He's coming back. He looks strong, whatever the case may be. Then you see you got guys like Richie James and Travis Benjamin. Not to mention, here comes this undrafted guy in Austin Watkins, who is running with the ones. So it's kind of like, what is that going to look like?
Where he from?
I think Austin Watkins. I think it was not Southern Miss. No, what was it? Not SMU, because that was the boy that when it was over there. Austin Watkins, UAB. I think it was UAB.
Okay,
tell you right now.
I like
either UAB or Southern Florida. But go ahead. What was it?
No, I was saying I like how I give y'all the respect, because when I talked about Tanner Muse, y'all was laughing at me. I just asked a question about Austin Watkins, and y'all, we all serious face. So I just like to give y'all that respect.
UAB. Okay, so Drake Kelly. Oh, and yeah, River Craycraft. River Craycraft came out and had a really good camp. Dre said Benjamin didn't get no reps today. You got Kevin White. I'm not going to talk about Kevin White too much. I think that's kind of like a foregone conclusion. That sucks for him. I think he had a lot of allure coming out and just kind of never quite materialized. But who's the 3 guy? Who's going to be that 3rd guy? I think the race for 3 right now is Mohamed Sanu, Juwan Jennings. I'll throw Jalen Hurd in there just because of the name. But I think River Craycraft. I think in the building, I think River Craycraft is getting a lot of love in the building. So I don't know. Who do you think that 3rd guy is going to be, CT?
Who do I want? Personally, I want it to be Jalen Hurd. I think it may be Sanu. Craycraft has already a good rapport with Jimmy, and he has a good rapport with Trey over the offseason. So, he's in a good spot to maintain a spot potentially. Richie James been dropping some balls, a lot of inconsistency there. So not sure about his status, especially when they're looking at BA to start being in a return game a little bit more. So that makes, potentially Richie James expendable. Benjamin, I think he's done. You said it last year during camp. He ended up opting out, so I think that's going to come to fruition now. Kevin White, if they could stash him on the practice squad again, but just don't know. He's had good days and bad days, so we'll see.
Trent Sherfield, I heard he's been having a good solid camp. 81 is Trent Sherfield. I heard he's been having a solid camp too.
That too.
Is it Muhammad Sanu, Jawan Jennings, and Jalen Hurd kind of like the same build, except Hurd is the younger, considering he comes back from his injuries, he would be the more explosive guy out of the three, but they're all similar body types, right?
Yeah, Jawan Jennings would be the youngest guy.
Yeah.
Hurd would be the more kind of stocky, more explosive, kind of big playability as far as just making guys miss and run after the catch. Then Sanu would be kind of like the
old, reliable,
wily veteran. Yeah, that's just kind of in that position.
If he wins it, he'll do good. Because remember when the Falcons had him still, and then they drafted Ridley, he started moving into the slot when Ridley when Ridley and Julio were on the outside. He started becoming that old, reliable, dependable, possession receiver. So that might be good for Trey Lance going forward to have an old, reliable veteran who could maneuver in the middle, and he's already done it.
And not for nothing, but him and Trey have worked out a ton this offseason.
Yeah.
So, Muhammad Sanu and Trey have worked out a ton this offseason. I lean more towards I think, but honestly, top end speed, kind of the guy that I feel like can take the top off from the slot. It would kind of be Jawan Jennings.
Really? Didn't he run like a 4.8?
But you know what? Though I seen some clips, and a lot of times, you run a 4.7, but you don't play 4.7, so it's a little different, right?
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
But I've seen some plays.
Different.
I seen a play earlier in a clip, and then it's a one-off, right? So we don't really know. But Jawan Jennings just kind of like blew past Jimmy Ward, routed up Jimmy Ward for a deep fade ball, and just kind of like got it and kept it pushing. Haven't seen much, and I know, like I said, Dre was there today. I'm gonna try to get to something. Haven't seen much from Jalen Hurd. I don't know what he looks like. I see he said Hurd is a lot bigger. Don't know what he's moving like. So kind of jury out there just because don't know. So interested to see what happened there. Another point of emphasis or another position group that I'm really watching closely is that defensive line. Have heard that D Ford is kind of looking like D Ford.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good.
That's kind of huge. I've heard some really great things about the former Raider, Kerr.
Who?
Kerr.
We don't have a Kerr. If you're talking about Arden Key,
he was a Raven.
Arden
Key and Mo Hurst.
Arden Key was a Raider.
So it was Mo Hurst who was a Raider, but I'm talking about the Kerr kid. Kerr was a Raven.
He was a Raven, yeah.
Okay, so Kerr was a Raven.
Who's Kerr? I'm sorry.
Z Kerr. I forgot.
It's like something, I don't know, but I've heard some really good name, really good stuff for him. But then you also have like DJ Jones, you have Arden Key, you have Hurst, Samson, Ebukon. Haven't heard that much about Samson this offseason. Is he hurt?
Pool growing.
Okay. And then you have freaking Javon the Freak Kinlaw. Like
he's coming.
He's coming for sure. I just the way I was gonna say that to stop. He's that's a full pause moment, but he's on his way. And I want to see, how that materializes for him and what that ends up looking like. Because Zach Kerr is who it is. Then you have Eric Armstead. You got, like I said, Nick Bosa, of course. And then I've been hearing a lot of great things about Contavious Street. So I'm interested to see how that defensive line looks. I think they have we'll see on Saturday. Make it interesting.
Hey, real quick, you said, I forgot how you said it, but Kyle Shanahan, like you said, he's putting out some jabs, really, really nice, soft jabs or throwing at Jimmy with all these compliments coming to Trey. In the Mercury News article he put out, or not he put out, but the offensive coordinator put out a jab and said that Trey brings a level of confidence and swag that we've been needing. Now, the swag, that's fine. But the confidence, I think to me, that's a little subtle jab at Jimmy, because I think the last year, even going into the Super Bowl year, the confidence that they had in calling them deep shots or calling those shots that can kind of like take the game over, it just wasn't coming. And then didn't we hear last year that Jimmy had a little confidence issue going into the games?
And that's not no secret. If you can look at Jimmy and just tell his confidence was shot the last few years.
Yeah.
No, you know that. We know that. But just,
especially last year.
I think when a coordinator says that openly, it's kind of like, oh, well, dang. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, you know, we're in for a good race. I'm very interested to see how Trey looks in that first game. Because I will say this. As great as we've been hearing about Trey, Trey's been amazing. Trey's been this, Trey's been that. Trey's also been going up against the twos every day.
Yeah.
So, you know, he hasn't really went up against the first team defense.
Mixed with ones on the offense, not the defense. They've been mixing in ones with him on offense.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the defense. I like what he's going against.
Gotcha.
Right. So it's not he hasn't been going up against, you know, the Fred Warners and then those other guys. So we'll see how he looks when he gets in there against some real competition. I would like to see him get some more one reps in team just to kind of see, you know, see what it looks like, you know, see if he's still making those same reads and same throws. When you got veterans like Jason Verrett, who's kind of disguising and baiting them in the throws. See what it looks like. CT, any other position group you want to touch on before we get out of there for the Niners?
You know, I'm really interested. I'm still interested in the running backs, honestly. You know, and then the safeties positions. You know, what's Tanoa? Is that his name?
Oh yeah, my man from USC.
Yeah, he's getting some love early from that spot. You know, obviously, and then you got Wilson, who's back there, who's doing pretty well. I don't know, man.
I've heard Wilson has been looking better than Jefferson.
Yep, I can see that. And because Jefferson hasn't played in a minute, so that might have something to do with it as well. But you know, not sure about DeQuisky with this turf toe or whatever he got going on.
I'm so over it.
Yeah, I get it. I love DeQuisky, but I don't know if I understand it. And then just running over to the running backs real quick. Raheem still looks like the guy. You know, everything I've been reading, everything I've been seeing, he still looks like the guy. Sermon's coming, though. Sermon is coming. It seems that way. He had that one, you know, I would say awful practice with the fumble, but other than that, man, I've been hearing really good things about his play. The younger cat too. Remind me his name, Pat.
Elijah Mitchell.
Elijah Mitchell's been making some noise, man. That's somebody I think will earn a roster spot. Galman, I don't think so. Hasty, I haven't heard anything, so I don't know. And you know, we got some people there, man. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think it'll be Raheem and Trey to start off, and then we'll see if there's room for Jeff Wilson at some point.
All right, well, that's that. Quan, did you want to touch on anything as it pertains to the San Francisco 49ers?
Nope, I think we hit it all.
Let's do a quick circle around the league, man. Some things that came out. One thing that came out was Carson Wentz ends up getting a foot injury that requires surgery. Jeez, sucks for that guy, man. I think Carson Wentz just can't catch a break. But then it's also kind of on the Indianapolis coach for not backing up that position enough, so to speak, to really make something happen there. What are your thoughts about that? See,
rough. I was blown away because if you guys remember last season, man, I was talking like, "Hey, Carson Wentz is coming." I felt really good about that situation for him. Was real confident in that, and for that to happen, 5 to 12 weeks. And then they lose their guard too, Quinn Nelson, you know, roughly same timeline. And I'm just like, wow. So, you know, honestly, the best option, the hallelujah situation for them would be to get Phillip Rivers. No doubt about it.
That sucks.
But it could be so much worse. I would take that over Brett Hundley. 100%.
I can't stand Phillip Rivers. Miles said Carson will be out the league in 3 years.
Yeah, if he can't do it here, yeah, I kind of agree with Mies. But you know, Phillip came out and said he'd be willing to come back after his high school season is done because he's a head coach at whatever high school his son plays. So that already is
high school.
The book. Right. So that's already out the book unless the coach make the offs. So that's already kind of out the book with Phillip coming back. But I I wanted to kind of like touch on the Xavier Howard situation. I don't. How can I say this, bro? He kept it real, so you kind of got to give him some kudos for just speaking his mind, and it was all factual to him. But it's kind of messed up the way he kind of put his business out there on Front Street and put Byron Jones in the mix by him saying, I outplayed my deal. I'm paraphrasing. I outplayed my deal that I just got.
Right.
So you shouldn't really be complaining because you just got it. You know how free agency works.
You validated it.
The next guy up who is legit is going to get more. That's just kind of the way it goes. But for him to out him and say, I've outplayed my contract and I'm not even the highest paid corner on my team when I'm clearly the best. Like that right there, like you just outed your brother. So it's like it's the truth. But then wasn't you just high-fiving your brother on game day last year? Wasn't you high-fiving handshake and hugs and all that? But then you go out him? That's jacked up.
Yeah, so what?
I'm just saying, if I was the Dolphins, I like that. I guess they renegotiated.
Shouldn't Xavier be the highest paid corner on the Dolphins?
The question isn't shouldn't he, because he should. But you don't have to kind of knock somebody down to get, especially when he on your team. Like you play opposite of him.
It's like Kendrick Bourne saying this is the best training camp he's ever been a part of. I hated that comment, by the way.
I mean, that's just him being excited, being on a new team, and a team finally giving him the bag that he deserves.
Because he's a premier player for them. That's part of it. He was never a premier player.
Y'all didn't want to give him the bag. He had.
We tried. He didn't.
So my around the league subject is not really have to do with this season at all. But Hall of Fame weekend was this weekend, right? Shout out to Najee Harris, good showing, Bay Area kid. I want to shout out all the guys from the Bay Area that are in the NFL right now. The young guys that are really doing it. You got the Najees, you got the Anthony Gordons, you got the Easop Winstons, you got it's a couple other guys too that Simba Webster. All the guys that are in the NFL right now from the Bay Area doing their things, man. Shout out to all y'all. I think Gordo has a real shot over there in Kansas City. It's him and Chad Henne. So we'll see how that turns out.
Yeah.
But I want to say Hall of Fame happened. Great enshrinees. I want to ask you guys, as I'm winding down the show today, first year eligible players for 2022. Who gets in first ballot? Tony Romo, first ballot or not?
No.
Cool.
Not a Patrick ain't in yet.
Steve Smith, first ballot or not?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no because I got to think about it. That's all.
I'm gonna say no because T.O. wasn't first ballot, and if you allow Steve Smith to be first ballot, and very similar in their antics, I'm gonna just keep it a bean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Andre Johnson, first ballot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
100% yes. 100% yes. Anquan Bolden, first ballot.
No, but he'll get in second ballot for sure.
He should get in before Steve Smith.
Well, hold on. He might get in because of everything he's doing off the field since they do that now.
That does matter. That's a good point.
But I'm gonna say no.
I'm gonna say no.
This a list?
Yeah. I'm gonna say
it already
no.
came out.
Huh.
Dang. Okay.
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna say no, but I just like because I wanted to give. I don't even know if he'll go in on the second ballot.
I think he'll go second, just based off what he's doing off the field with the awareness of, mental health and the Black community things and all of that good stuff. I think he'll get in with that on the second ballot for sure, but not first. No.
All right, Robert Mathis.
Ooh. See, I got to think about it, but isn't he the all-time sack leader for the Colts?
Is he? That's not Dwight Freeney?
They're close.
They're close because I think Robert played. I think Freeney left before Robert did.
I think so.
I don't know. I'm gonna say no, but he. Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of want to see who else you got.
DeMarcus Ware.
Yes.
Wow, that was a fast yes. And I'm going to say no.
Why?
Because, I mean, I don't want to turn, and this is just my personal opinion. I hate that we're turning the NFL Hall of Fame into the NBA Hall of Fame with just everybody.
Oh, no.
But you say that when Where comes up? You don't say that when Mathis or Steve Smith or Anquan Bolden, like.
I said no to Mathis.
Okay, I'm just checking.
I said no to C. Smith.
Where is definitely a yes.
I said only yes I've given so far is Andre Johnson.
And DeMarcus Ware.
So why
I'm not giving Ware yes.
Why not? He has records. He got rings.
Bowl.
He got Pro Bowls, and he has all pros. I mean, what else do you
Oh,
need?
he got rings with Denver, huh?
Yep. It don't matter. He got a ring.
I'm just making sure I know where the ring is coming from.
Yeah, it's from Denver.
And no, Pops, I'm not hating on the Cowboys. First of all, let's talk about that.
And
Let's call a spade a spade. He probably wouldn't even go into the Hall as a Cowboy. Let's just call a spade a spade.
what? Well, look,
He got rings in Denver. He didn't get rings in Dallas.
that is true. But hey, I got a question for you.
What's up?
I think also they say to get in the Hall of Fame for people like us debating for a stretch. Can we say for a stretch that DeMarcus Ware was the best player at his position at one point in time?
Yeah.
The answer would be yes. So just like there was a point in time where Andre was the man.
Who was
He wasn't the best, but he was nice.
Who?
Hines Ward.
Oh, I thought you said something else. I thought you said Andre wasn't the man. I thought you were talking about Andre. I was like, what? You smoking weed? Yeah, he was. Okay, so because who's around at DeMarcus Ware time? That's not like the freak and not
That's the
Julius
Peppers era. I think so.
Okay.
And didn't Julius get in, or he next? Right?
No.
No, he's not in. He just retired not too long ago.
Okay. Not so he's not ready yet. But
all right, next guy, Vince Wilfork.
No. No. Well,
I want him to.
Is it not a point that Vince Wilfork was the best D tackle in the league at one point?
No.
I'm going off of your criteria.
No, I don't think so. But
you got?
But look, he got a whole bunch of these though. He got a whole bunch of
them.
Right.
But look, let me ask you guys a question. When you
Pops,
talk about
chill out. Somebody tell my dad to chill out. Does Andre Johnson was
about to go on glasses
made
again.
him log off. I see.
Wow.
I had to lead the chat on that one. I had to just leave completely. Andre Johnson was arguably the best, not even arguably, the best receiver at one point in the league while he was playing.
Facts.
Hey, Uncle Ken tripping. How you say Romo's a lot, but then you got an issue with Andre Johnson? I don't understand that.
Hey, who are we talking about just now?
Vince Wilfork.
Okay, I got a question. When we bring up the Patriots in any debate and we talk about their Super Bowl rings, does his name ever come up?
Yes.
More so than Brewski.
And not in the conversations I've had, but okay.
Come on, Quan. Vince Wilfork was a boy.
Yeah.
I agree with you, but we're talking about first ballot.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no.
I'm gonna say no.
I'm gonna say no. It's a tough one, but I'm gonna say no. Chad Greenway.
Hell no.
What? No.
I'm just looking at the list, bro.
I'm surprised he made it on there.
Mario Williams.
The DN, right? No.
Texans.
If he gets in, it's gonna be because of the headline of him getting picked over Reggie Bush. The Texans will never let that down, ever.
Yeah. So, in my opinion, out of this first ballot list, I got one. I'm playing spades. I got one in the possible.
Who's the possible?
I got one and two possibles.
Who the possibles?
My one lock would be Andre.
Uh-huh.
My two possibles would be Steve Smith and DeMarcus Ware.
I would have two for sure and one possible. The one possible being Steve Smith. I think DeMarcus Ware and Andre Johnson are a lock though.
Can I just be honest and say I hate this list? So I'm gonna just say I think my locks are DeMarcus Ware. I think Andre Johnson. Because of this list, Tony Romo actually might get in. Crazy enough.
No.
Because of this list, because of the list, it's one of them like by default situations.
But that would be crazy because Andre, we've all agreed that at least for a stretch of time, he was the best receiver at one point in the whole league.
Right.
We could say the same thing about DeMarcus Ware. Tony Romo has never been the best quarterback ever in any year he ever played.
I agree. But he got stats. He got some decent stats.
Does Tony Romo get in before Donovan McNabb?
Yes.
If that happens, that would be
That's terrible.
No,
that's
but
terrible.
this is the thing.
That's terrible.
So,
that's
so
terrible.
what they say? No, I agree. But this is the thing. I know at least in baseball, and I'm pretty sure it has something to do in football as well when it comes to Hall of Fame voting. Your presence with the media, how you interact with them makes a difference. A la why Barry Bonds struggles so much, other than obviously some of his digressions, right? It's debatable. But anyway, in Tony Romo's case, he's part of the media now. You know what I mean? And he played for the Cowboys. Like, that gives him some clout that might be able to push him in. I don't agree with it, but I think that it could push him in. Donovan McNabb has never been real solid with the media like that and has a pretty bad rap based off of his last couple gigs he had. So,
all right, I'm going to give you one more because I'm having fun with this particular situation.
You're right, CT. You're right, though.
Yeah. Does Tony Romo get in before Randall Cunningham?
Yes, and it's disrespectful.
I hate it here. I absolutely hate it here.
I don't agree. I don't want it to happen. I'm just telling you what's gonna happen.
Okay. Because I'm looking at this list, right?
So if you play quarterback for the Eagles, you're not getting in.
So we said that
I hate this list. It's trash. Mario Williams is eligible.
So do you guys take any issue with Steve Smith potentially getting in before Chad Johnson?
Yes, 100%.
Absolutely. But CT was just talking about the media. I mean, that's kind of the same. Chad is not in because of the same reason why T.O. had to wait. Let's just call a spade a spade.
But it shouldn't be, though, because he was a lot more dynamic and interactive with the media than T.O. ever was. So I don't remember that one.
But Chad's second career, a la remember he was on national TV for a minute, and that thing happened with the girl he was dating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All of that stuff has a stain on his resume, even though it shouldn't, because it should be about the field, but it does.
All right, my last comparison, I just want to ask the question. Does Anquan Bolden get in before Wes Welker?
Yeah.
He should off his numbers, but
because he was a true number one. He was a true number one for quite some time.
But Wes got one of these.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So then Wes got a ring.
Baltimore that year. Wasn't Quan?
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
Okay, so I forgot. Anquan for sure should get in before him.
All right. So then we talk about DeMarcus Ware. We talk about Mario Williams. Another guy that's sitting around waiting, potentially might have been the best at the position for a while. Jared Allen.
He should get in. He should get in.
Yeah?
Yeah, I got to give him that.
Okay.
Hey, I have a question
based
for
on
you.
that list, absolutely.
And Patrick Willis is still waiting as well.
He better be in.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
No bias.
Do you guys have any, before we go, do you guys have any disagreement about Charles Woodson getting in?
No.
First ballot?
No.
No question.
I would never. That's dumb.
That's disrespectful.
That wasn't even a good question, Quan.
No.
Why? Is that even a thought?
Well, no. Well, somebody was talking when I was at Jay's practice earlier, and they said that they're talking about, well, Champ Bailey should be up. I'm like, man, cut it out.
Champ Bailey should be in, but it shouldn't be a situation.
He shouldn't be in over Charles, though.
No, it isn't a situation where it's like he should be in over Charles, but Champ Bailey should definitely get into Hall of Fame.
At some point he will. When is Roger Craig getting in?
That's
man, they gotta let that go.
That's foul.
Yeah,
that's
foul.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
Well,
it's a whole bunch of things.
If we let everybody in, then we gonna have an NBA thing.
Roger Craig is a Hall of Famer. Chill out.
He was one of the first receiving backs effective out of the backfield.
Chill out. Roger Craig is for sure Hall of Famer. Any other final thoughts tonight, fellas?
What's up, C?
I was gonna say the reason they hate on Roger Craig is the same way they're gonna hate on Romo for that fumble.
Yikes.
I was young, but I knew what was going on, bro. I knew what was going on.
That's wild.
Nah, we good, man.
It's the Field Level, the football podcast of the West Coast. Make sure that you guys are taking the time out to go ahead and follow us on Instagram at the Field Level. Follow us on Twitter at the Field Level 1. Let it be known that we back, man. We back out here. Fun thing is that next week's show, pretty much every freaking preseason game, week 1 would be at play by the time we're on. So that's great. So we'll see you have more information about that. We'll be able to really dive deep into what's going on with week 1 of the preseason. Look, I got a couple matchups I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to New Orleans and Baltimore. I got a little special little stake in that, trying to see what's going on over there.
And the Raiders.
I don't care nothing. Y'all can play the little Giants. All I care. I don't really care about what's going on over there.
Okay.
But I love you, man. Also, let it be known, man. Fantasy football time is coming right back around. We did last year. I want to do it again this year. The Field Level Family Fantasy Football League. Tell somebody about it. Let us know if you want to be a part of it. DM us on Instagram at the Field Level. DM us on Twitter at the Field Level 1. Let us know you want to be a part. Write a comment on the Field Level Family page. Hey, what's up with the Fantasy Football League? Let's get it going, man. Let's get it popping.
I ain't playing this year.
Yes, you is. I'm Pat. That's Quan. That's CT. You got whooped last year. That's why.
That's why.
It's the Field Level, the football podcast of the West Coast. We out of here, man.
Every week, catch your freshest on your TV. Field Level Football, Quan, Pat, and CT. On the field, running plays for the 3P. And we shine lights, camera, action when you see the team. Pick 6, touchdown when I got the ball. And if you think you in my league, tell them knock it off. Money calling every day, and I just got the call. Production over projection, it's in us, we just got a ball. We just got a ball. We just got a ball.